So this is from Kiganda's YouTube channel. I'm sorry, Yoshe, if the name is Kiganda. I apologize. Here in Kenya, it is Keganda. Ah, yes. So this is thankfully this is the first comment what I want to talk about. So they were talking about what was the topic? No Black American allowed in Africa.
I just want to be appreciated.
That is what they were discussing. So I won't go into like the nitty-gritties of what their discussion was about, what was happening. So I just want to highlight a comment. One of my college friends from the 1960s was Kenyan. And this one got my attention because I am Kenyan. So why not? Let's see what the Kenyan, what the opinion was. I asked him the reason for the hostility shown by some Africans towards African Americans. His response was edifying, clarifying, and very thoughtful. He said the seeming hostility was a mask for envy. So this is where I started to, but let's continue. He added that travel to Africa would expose me to the degrees of misfortune suffered by most Africans in their pursuit for freedom from European colonization and eventual social and economic liberty.
Fair enough.
So this is the 1960s. So I understand that because Kenya got its independence in 1963. So this is 3 years prior. 3 or 4, depending of if you are including the 1960 there. He said that by comparison, we have an easier road. Almost all Africans welcome African American as extended family members. So this one was just good. At Uko, I could understand that. But then this person is saying it was because of envy. Let me say that one. I really don't know, but probably that is the opinion of that Kenyan, and he's free to have his opinion. Of course, there are people who are envious. I cannot deny that. However, that's not even the issue. So this is my first comment, okay? And this is what I want us to look at. As an African, I would like to point out that I am not black. I am African.
Fuck is you talking about?
Some are hostile because of envy. However, others just think blacks, and I put not all in because I don't want to generalize, are ill-mannered. Think blacks as ill-mannered. Alafu, not all, because most of what we are exposed to is on the internet and the media.
I don't give a fuck about your rude motherfucking ass. I don't give a fuck about your rude motherfucking ass, bitch. This on my goddamn mom.
And I said why some Africans think blacks are ill-mannered. It's because most of what we see is on the internet and media. So that is social media and mainstream media. Okay.
Police described it as 60 seconds of anarchy. A so-called flash mob, more than 24 people, invaded a 7-Eleven convenience store this past weekend in suburban Washington and stole anything they could get their hands on.
Africans are very diverse in nationality and cultures, and they clash all the time. Why did I respond that way? It's because the issue of envy, of course, that one is part of it. However, there is something deeper, and it has to do with an identity. We are all tribal. Okay? We are all tribal. Let me just state, and this is obvious for anyone who is Kenyan. Kenyan has something like what? 44 official tribes or something. Each tribe has its own issues with another tribe. We are in the same nation, under the same president, under the same laws, under the same, whether it is oppressive or regressive or whatever, laws and cultures, we are still tribal. I am Kikuyu, someone is Luo, another is Somali, another is Luya. We are still tribal. So even within our own nation, we are still tribal. And not even that. Let's look at Africa, because we're talking about Africans. Africa has about what, 52 countries, if I'm not wrong. And all those countries are there are places where we will come together, and there are places where we are like, no, we are too different.
Tena ni tabia ndogo, tabia chache, tabia za kiasili. Mfano, Wakenya ni wabishi sana. Wakenya ni wabishi, lakini pia ni waelewa. Kwamba akielewa yeye ameelewa, lakini pia kama utapanga maelezo vizuri, Mkenya ni mbishi kweli kweli. Watanzania sisi pia tuna asili yetu. Watanzania sisi ni wajanja. Sisi bwana kwenye kazi popote Mtanzania basi hakuachi hivi. Mtanzania yuko fit.
Now, expecting Africans as a monolith, all 52. Now listen, these are 52 nations or states which are autonomous. And within those nations, you have a nation like Kenya, which has something like 44 different tribes. And that's not all. Because if you look at the Kalenjin, they have sub-tribes. You look at the Luya, they have sub-tribes. So even within those sub-tribes, there are issues. However, so expecting them to feel a certain kind of way towards blacks, expecting them to feel a specific kind of way towards black, it's very entitled.
Are you stupid or something?
Very entitled. Anyway, so this is what I said. Why did I say I am African, not black?
Leg out.
So if you put myself and a black, and you ask somebody who is American or European or even Asian, they'll just say they're black.
Oh, are you alright? How did Barry?
Because of the skin color, right? But black is also cultural. It has something to do with their experience. So I do not have the experience of a black. I have the experience of an African. Okay? I have the experience of an African. Not of a black. Experience of an African. And that's why I am African. I do not have an experience of slavery. I have an experience of colonization.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.